thank you for joining us. I'm Joy.
And I'm Laura.
And this is The Witches of Letters, a supernatural rewatch podcast.
Buckle up as we dive into Season 1, Episode 1, the pilot.
So, Laura, brand new to the fandom, what did you think of Episode 1?
I thought it was really good. It definitely wasn't an anticlimax at all.
I feel like Sorry.
No,
go ahead. I was just going to say, I don't think that there's anything ever anticlimactic in Supernatural. Like, I feel like everything is always a ramp up. Everything always ends on I really want to watch the next episode. Like, I know that you felt that way because you were like, let's do the next one.
Yeah, I had to watch. I watched the first one twice because I wanted to watch another one, so I just watched it again.
Yeah. I did the same, and I'm not mad about it. Like, I can't even count how many times I've seen Episode 1 at this point. I feel like it's probably like around the 50 mark, maybe, because that is one of my. It's a comfort show that I watch, which is hilarious because it's definitely horror. But I've seen it so many times and it just doesn't get old. And I actually feel like when you've seen more, it gets more and more emotionally impactful as you go along because you realize like the full scope of everything that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's definitely, as a rewatch, I would recommend this show. If you've been hesitating, if you've been thinking like, oh, I could do it, but should I? It's a good show to rewatch.
Yeah, I could definitely sense that there's like going to be a strong spat with the brothers, which was really good. I did really, really like it. And I was so excited to watch it that I thought it was going to be a bit like, oh, okay, that was the first episode. But no, it was really, I really, really enjoyed it.
We were in a WhatsApp chat while she was watching the first episode. I was like, listen, I need to know, because she waited 17 years to actually watch this episode. I was like, I need to know if it's worth the anticipation. I need to know what your thoughts are. Tell me everything. Dean is super hot, obviously. I knew there were going to be some thirst trap moments, and I was not disappointed. She was sending me like screenshots of like, yes.
I think I sent you one and said, okay, I get it.
Yeah. No, you did. I love that one. We need to try to put that in the highlights somewhere. It was just like, I understand. We're same page. I have to say, actually, like on review, I had forgotten, because I'm such a Dean girl, I had forgotten how hot Sam is in this episode in particular, because Sam goes through a lot, but he's often in the kind of baby brother role.
Yeah.
And Dean is cast as like the protector, as you start to see in this pilot episode. And I'm really attracted to that. So Sam, while being actually quite hot, and like for the Sam girls, you know, I get it. I got it so much more in this episode than I feel like I ever have before. I was just like, damn, Sam. Okay. There's the scene where he drives the car into the house where he's like, okay, bitch, you want to go? Let's fucking go. You think you can't go home? You're scared of your house? I'm going to take you in your fucking house by driving this entire car through your front door and wrecking your shit. And that was such a good plan, as it turns out. So
yeah, it's literally through the house.
No hesitation. Nothing. And you could just see Dean being like, he's worried about Sam, but I feel like there's a little bit of my car.
Yeah, you could. I think he said something about his car, didn't he? Afterwards.
Oh yeah, he does. He's like, if you fucked up my car, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. That's not the exact line, but that's the emotion behind it.
Right. Should we do I think we should do a little brief synopsis first of all, and then we can go in with the rest of the episode.
Yeah, so that would make sense
for our listeners. Now, I've just written a brief synopsis about what's happened. So it's Season 1, Episode 1, pilot. So in a flashback, we learn that Sam and Dean are brothers. Their mother was killed when Sam was a baby and Dean was young. The dad dedicated his life from then on to finding the entity that killed her. The boys were trained to also hunt monsters, but Sam left the family business to go to college and hasn't spoken to his family since. The dad goes missing on a hunting trip, and Dean goes to Sam to ask for his help. He resists at first, but goes along with his brother to try and find their dad. Clues lead them to investigate the case of a woman in white who killed her children and herself and now kills any unfaithful men she comes across as a ghost. This is our monster of the week. After, Dean drops Sam back off at college and his girlfriend is killed and burned in the same way as his mum. Sam then makes the decision to stay with his brother on the hunt. So, I just thought it was very strong. Obviously, the episode was kind of setting up that happening for the rest of the season so that the brothers can be together, because Sam was so resistant to it at first. And the whole plot was kind of leading to that, which I kind of assumed was going to happen throughout. But I think it was a really solid start, a really solid pilot. What did you think?
I love the pilot. Like I said, I find it pretty infinitely rewatchable. Like this time around, I noticed something that I hadn't noticed before, which to just sort of set the scene at the beginning of the episode, you have Mary Winchester, their mom, kind of obviously she hasn't had, I don't think Sam is very old when this happened. Like Sam is like less than a year old. So they're clearly still in the we have a new baby, we're not getting a lot of sleep phase, which you can tell because she rolls over and she's looking for her husband and then he's not there because the baby monitor's gone off. So she goes to check on Sam and she sees a man and she's like, oh, it's John. And so then she keeps carrying on, she keeps going, and like you think, oh, okay, that there's a little bit of something odd going on, and then the lights start flickering, and then things start to get genuinely so creepy. And I had forgotten how cinematic the pilot is, because pilots usually like you don't have a big budget for it and you were trying to convince the network to take you on. That's what a pilot is for. A pilot is to be like, please buy us and invest in us so that we can make more of these episodes. And it reads to me a lot like I don't know if anybody here has watched The Exorcist. But you have the Exorcist original films, and then you have some remakes that were done a lot more recently, and they are terrifying and so spooky. And I think it's really only been in more recent years that we've gotten more cinematic TV shows like that. But Supernatural, one of its biggest strengths, I think, is it's very cinematic from the outset. The production and the quality of everything that's done on it, from sound to set design, stunts, everything is so good. Like I've seen it so many times, but there are still moments where I was genuinely like jump scared or or like spooked. There, if Nick is away, as we said in the previous episode, Nick is my husband, you guys. If Nick is away and I'm by myself in the house, there's certain episodes that I will not watch at night by myself because I will be convinced that the monsters are out there and I won't sleep. Like it's so good. I think that they are a little bit like, you know how Jurassic Park has aged really well and still looks really good and really solid. And it's because primarily, I think they used practical effects for a lot of things. And I think that Supernatural has a kind of similar strength. Like there is CGI for sure. And in places with the CGI, you can see how it is an older show at this point. But having said that, they use more practical than they do CGI. So even in places where the CGI now looks a little bit older, it still looks pretty darn good. Like there's a scene at the end that we discussed where the ghost is getting torn apart by her children.
Oh yeah. And I did watch that again after you mentioned that.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's really brutal and really horrific. And I think that they did such a good job with the monster storytelling side of what's happening in that scene that even though the special effects are a little older at this point, it doesn't look entirely janky and it doesn't entirely ruin it because it's so scary what's happening. So I think that actually probably a lot of shows that came afterwards that took that more cinematic approach, I think they owe that to Supernatural. I think it's inspired a lot of that in TV.
Yeah, I definitely, and I think I said this to you at the time, I thought that it was really good CGI. Like for the time, it would have been really good because I was trying to watch it from a, 2005, 2006 point of view.
Yeah.
And I was like, other things that were out of that time, it would have been good. Do you remember it being good at the time? Was it like, wow, that's actually really good
At the
CGI?
time, it was hot shit. Like, at the time,
Yeah,
it was, I feel like, at the cutting edge. Like, there were moments when you could tell that, um, it wasn't the best of the best, and maybe they didn't have the most enormous budget because I think they were, what, a CW, but back then would have been like a WB program in America. So pretty decent budget, but not like enormous at all. And it's like everybody obviously poured their heart and soul into it, because even where it's a little dated now, it still looks pretty good. Like when they're burning on the ceiling, when they're like suspended and burning on the
yeah.
ceiling, even that still looks pretty okay.
Actually, I've got something about a scene later on, the second scene where that happens, but I'll talk about that later when it comes to it.
Hmm.
Um, but I thought that the whole opening was really good, and I remember I voice one of the voice notes that I sent to Joy, which it was in the first 3 minutes. So we have the mom dies in the first 3 minutes, and I
Yeah.
was like, did their mom just die? Did I watch that right? Did I see that right?
Yeah.
And I think you
Yeah.
replied just saying, "Yep, it's just death right from the beginning."
Oh yeah, I was like, they go for the jugular straight away. And they definitely do. I feel like in a lot of horror shows, if you are attractive and blonde, or if you're a good mom, you're done, son. Like you're out. You're dead. You will not be surviving. Um, and Mary is both an attractive blonde and a great mom. So she's
Yeah,
fucked. She was never going to make it out of the episode. Same for Jess. Jess is an attractive hot blonde. She is really good and so supportive and so sweet. And
yeah,
yeah, she's done. She's done. She's not going to survive. She's in a horror show, and she dressed up as a slutty nurse at a Halloween party.
yeah.
Blonde hair. You're done, my friend. You're out. I'm so sorry, but you chose the wrong costume.
I did. As soon as she came on the screen, and I was like, "Oh, he's got like a really cute, like really nice, supportive girlfriend." And I was like, I doesn't end very well." And I was right.
Yeah, spoiler alert, it did not go well. I did also notice, in terms of like the horror elements and the storytelling of it. So the show is set initially in a fairly like Christian kind of iconography, right?
Mm.
And what was interesting to me, what I realized with this rewatch, is Mary is suspended. So firstly, she's Mother Mary. So note that.
I hadn't
And
noticed that.
secondly, she's suspended in a very similar position that you will see a lot of like saints or like Christ on the cross, where like the arms are outspread and one of the legs is raised. So she's
Yeah,
actually suspended. Her dead body is suspended. Now, instead of the spear wound or the blood dripping wound being like the side, it sort of looks like it's a cross. It
yeah,
may have come through one side, but it's like a demonic mockery, I feel like, an inversion of Jesus and I guess it's not the resurrection at this point, it's the crucifixion. There we go. The crucifixion. That's the word I wanted. So it's like actually quite a terrifying one. And then you see for both Jess and Mary, then they're consumed by like what we assume is hellfire at this point, right? Like
mm.
supernatural fire that just comes from nowhere. So I thought that was really interesting, that the loving women in their lives, like their comfort, like their love lives, their mother, um, both of these people, the support system, the kindness and the light and the love, are really symbolized by these women, and these women are killed really brutally.
Yeah. It's like the brothers are going to be like so brooding and stuff about it because you know if they get close to anyone, if they like anyone, then they might not
Yep.
survive.
Like
Is that going
that will
to?
scar you. Like your
Yeah,
mom dying like that in front of you. Dean is so scarred. And this is another
yeah,
thing that I thought about this with this rewatch was like we understand how messed up Dean must be from the beginning, because he was there for this, and he was there for the
yeah,
terror, and he was young, but he was old enough to remember what was going on, right? And he's also old enough to see the deterioration of his dad. So like we see at first John is this like upstanding, he was in the Marine Corps. We know that from his shirt, and like the fact that he's watching a World War II documentary. Like he's giving a standard veteran, right? And he seems like he's this really good dad, and they have this really great happy family life. And then
Yeah.
By the time the boys are older, they're talking about him pulling Miller time shifts and basically being like a functioning alcoholic who is just obsessed with stuff. So they've lost their mom, but they also kind of lost their dad in a way too, because he wasn't their father then. He became their drill instructor.
Yeah.
And then Sam is talking about like being given a gun when he's 9 and told like, yeah, absolutely be scared of the monsters in your closet, and here's what you're going to use to kill it, and let's go in and do that now. Like, they have not had a normal upbringing. They have not had a normal
No.
life. But I feel like Dean was on another level and Sam was sort of okay. Sam had kind of escaped, right? He's gone off to make this life for himself. He's clearly really intelligent. He's at Stanford University, which is Ivy League, and he's doing amazing. And he's kind of clawed his way towards something resembling normal, I feel like, probably because he was too young to remember his mom. So he's grown up with a kind of messed up childhood, right? Like with his dad. But it seems like Sam was normal enough that he didn't want to be part of the hunt and he wanted to carve out his own piece of the world. And then at the end, you see the switch flip and you see him take on the same role as his brother and his father. And it's weirdly heartbreaking when you actually really stop and reflect on it.
But I feel like it was because Sam, I'm going to get it right, Sam was resentful of, it was kind of like he was resentful of his dad, whereas Dean kind of understood because he knew his mom,
He
like you
knew
were
his
saying.
mom. Yeah.
And Sam didn't really get it because he says that, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
But and obviously when his girlfriend then dies in the same way, he then understands. So he's like, yeah, okay, we need to go after this thing, whatever it is, that killed them
Yeah.
both. But he would, because he was only a baby, he wouldn't have even remembered that. I had a question for you actually about the opening scene and how the mum and Jess die, because
Yeah.
was there why is there a certain reason why she was targeted by whatever it is, and we just
Yes.
don't know that yet? Because I was
Yeah,
like,
you
were
don't
they
know
into
yet.
the hunting and supernatural before? Because it doesn't really seem like it. It seems like that triggered it.
So they did all hunt before.
Okay.
Sam less so. So Sam, as we will discover, and I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but I'll just say that Sam is the youngest. He's the baby, and he's been really sheltered, which is another reason why I think that like he hasn't been totally sheltered. Like he's got trauma. He's been through some stuff, but like a lot of the time we'll learn that Dean really protected his baby brother, and also their dad tried to protect him.
Well, he did right from the start, didn't he? Because his dad made him take him outside when
Exactly.
it's
He says, Dean, take your brother and go.
yeah.
Dean has been parentified, I think, from a really young age and asked to take on roles that are beyond his years. And so he's almost like a second father to Sam.
Yeah.
So I think that what's going on is like we're starting to see Sam understand Dean and understand his dad.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely got that at the end. But it was like it took something happening that he could then obviously remember and relate to for it to kind of click with him.
That makes sense to me though, because like
yeah.
I'll use a brief example from my own life, which is like my most traumatic event. I was there, and my mom was there, but my sister wasn't there. And so my sister's had a totally different life experience than me. And
Yeah.
the level of damage that we obtained from that event is also quite different. So because she was so much more sheltered and protected, she has a totally different view of the family dynamic than what I do, because I was there and I witnessed it. And she actually didn't 100% believe me about certain things, right? And I think the dynamic between Sam and Dean is kind of similar, because Dean's there and he remembers everything and he's been the protector, right? Whereas Sam has been the protected one. And this is the first time in his life where he's taken on the role of like protector in terms of like avenging his girlfriend, because he can't save her, he can't do anything else, but he can stop it from happening to somebody else, and that's really his driving motivator.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I liked the bit. The opening credits. There was no theme song. Is that just because it was the pilot?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have obtained the rights yet, because when you think about it, like Kansas is a big band. Like that song is a big song. And I don't know how much they had to pay for the rights, but I assume it was a pretty penny. So like I think they would have had to wait until they were picked up. So I think a lot of pilots, you have a feeling for the music, but you're not necessarily going to get the same opening and closing music as you will when the season's picked up.
Yeah, because I was expecting the song, and then it didn't really have any credits. It just had like Supernatural comes off on the screen, and then it went on to the next. But yeah, so after the credits, we then had the Halloween party. So we see that Sam's at college. It was very 2000s, very noughties, and all the costumes.
Naughties.
It was all like sexy versions of stuff. So it was like sexy nurse.
Yeah, 100%.
That was totally a thing, wasn't it? But I thought it was really cool. It did remind me of my like uni years. And then the bit where so then Dean turns up and in the middle of the night. You're like, why did he turn up in the middle of the night? He could have, called him first and said, I'm on my way. But I like you can clearly tell that they were trained to fight, because they had this like epic fight before Sam realizes that it's his brother.
Yeah, I love that part, but also like I feel like real siblings are like that. Like there are just so many memes about like siblings, and the way that siblings are portrayed in like television and media. It's all like, I love you, I'll always be here to support you, you're my best friend. And in reality, like jerk and bitch and let's not have a chick flick moment and all that. That's so much more accurate. And like the randomly attacks you in the dark to see if you've still got your game. Pretty accurate, I would say. Like. This is so much more real. I actually think one of the reasons why the fandom is so strong and why people enjoy watching it so much is because like the brotherly dynamic is so solid and so realistic from the outset. Like they don't always love each other. They don't always get along. Well, maybe they always love each other, but maybe not 100% all of the way. You know what I mean? Where like you can love someone but not always like them. And there's so much banter.
Yeah, I definitely had I actually did say banter, the brotherly banter between them. Already, I'm loving it, and they have a really good chemistry as brothers.
They really do.
I really like it. I think we're now on to so after that, so he's trying to get Sam's help. He's saying that the dad's gone missing. I like how when Sam was like, sorry, I keep pausing because I keep wanting to call him Dean. Sounds like you can say anything you want in front of Jess, and then he's like, okay, well, dad's gone missing on a hunting trip, and then he's like, okay, leave us.
Yeah, no, that part was great. I also liked where he's hitting on Jess low-key in front of his brother. He's just like, I like the Smurfs too. Yeah, he's like, I like the Smurfs. And I was like, oh, Lord.
And then he tells her that she's out of his brother's league.
Oh, yeah, he says that too. And he's like, while he's looking at her, he's doing that thing that he does. He's like smoldering. It's like, Flynn Rider and Tangle, he's a smoldering. Like, Dean was smoldering at Jess. And like, do I blame him? No, Jess is super fucking hot. I too would do that. But that's like hitting on your brother's girl in front of your brother is just another level. And Sam, nothing's it, right? Sam is so used to Dean's behavior. He knows, like he knows how hot his girlfriend is. He knows what Dean is like. This is inevitable. And Sam is just like, nothing, just no reaction whatsoever.
Yeah, he was just completely ignoring it. I like how then he goes outside. They go outside where Dean's got his car, and he's explaining what's happened and where is the message that his dad has left, and then opens the boot and there's all of the like knives and guns and stuff all in the boot of his car.
American listeners, the boot is the trunk, y'all.
So yeah, the trunk.
You're fine. Speak the language of your people and I will translate.
I did have a thirst trap alert here, Joy, which was the bit where Dean is sitting on the front of the car telling Sam that he never asks him for a thing, and he just kind of gives him this look. And I think that was actually the bit I sent you saying, "Yeah, I get it
Yeah.
now. I get it."
Yep. Yeah. We're going to have to post that to the feed somewhere because, oh my God. Like, yes. 1,000, the jawline, the eyes, the piercing eyes, the shoulders. You guys, I can't. It's amazing.
He has got really nice eyes. That was one thing I definitely noticed. Right, so I think we'll just keep going through the episode. So now we're getting into the kind of monster of the week stuff. So we've got a woman in white, but we don't know that that's what she is yet. So there's just some guy driving down the road. But I got really angry at this guy. I didn't like
He's a
him.
fuck up. We don't care for him. He gets everything that he deserves. Like, is she super hot and would I possibly fall prey to this woman? Maybe. Maybe. However, we don't cheat, okay? That's not.
Yeah.
He's on the phone to his girl. He's on the phone to his girl. You guys, the bar is so low. And then he sees hot girl by the road looking like she's in distress, and he pulls over. And at first I think, this man could be a good Samaritan, because it's been a while and I forgot this part of the episode. I forgot all of his bullshit. Okay. I thought maybe he's just being nice. He's like, oh, I got to call you back. Okay. He gets out of the car. He like, does he get out or does he just pull over? I forget. But anyway, he stops to pick her up. And this incredibly gorgeous woman gets in the car and is like, take me home. And he's like, oh, hell yeah. And you're immediately like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, because he had literally just told his girlfriend that he's too tired to go round to see her. Yeah. But not too tired to pick up this chick.
Nope. The fatigue is gone. He saw a super hot girl and he was just like, I'm going to ditch this one and I'm going to go straight immediately to this one. I am alive now. I've seen hotness and I've come back to life and I'm just going to do whatever. And then you start to realize that something is really not right. Like, things start to get a little spooky, don't they?
They do. I just a note here. So I recognized the actress, and I couldn't place her for ages. So for the whole episode, I was like, I know her. She's been in loads of stuff. But there was something in, when you're like, I know they've been in lots of things that I've seen, but there's one specific thing that I can remember that she was in, and I can't remember what it was. So I had to look it up. And the random thing that I recognized her from was Life. Did you ever watch that? I think it was only on for like 1 or 2 seasons.
It sounds familiar, but like I think I'll have to Google it to actually know what you're talking about.
It was it had Damian Lewis in it. So it was Damian Lewis and her, and they were like police detectives, and so they were partners. And it was like he'd been wrongly convicted. He'd been set up and framed, and then he was in prison, and then he was released and became a detective again, and she was his partner.
Nope. I did not watch that. I did not watch that. I feel like I would have remembered because, again, that actress is gorgeous. Like, I feel like I would have known because I would have been like, I am in love with her character. But no, I didn't see it.
No, that was good. But that was just a side note because it was really annoying me. I always do this if I'm watching something and I know if I recognize an actor, I'm like, where are they from? And I had to look it up. So yeah, I had to look that up. Oh, and then so we had some jump scares. This is where it starts getting scary, isn't it? Because we had a jump scare when he takes her back to the house and he's like, you don't live here. No one lives here. And she disappears and then he walks towards the house and there's either like a bat or a bird or something flies out at him. That was the first jump scare. That one didn't actually make me jump because I knew I was like, there's clearly something's going to jump out at him.
You were waiting for it.
Yeah. It was still creepy though. Did that one make you jump?
Yeah, I think it did. I don't think I remembered that it happened and it got me. And then also, like, not exactly a jump scare, but the handprint disappearing where she disappears and then her handprint disappears from the car glass makes me go, ugh.
The bit where he drives because he runs off, doesn't he, and gets back in his car and starts driving off, and then she's in the back seat again. Yeah. That bit, I was like, she's still there.
That was so good. That one got me again. I was just like, oh, wasn't expecting it.
It's the looking in the mirror and seeing something in the back of your car. That is a big fear.
Yeah, that's just a no thanks. Like, I have a friend of mine who literally religiously checks her back seat at all times. And I think it's because
I do that
she
too.
watched, is it Urban Legends? But she's like literally constantly checking the back of her seat. And I get it. Like, I would be really not okay with some horrible ghost just suddenly appearing in my back seat like that, bent on killing me. That would be a no thanks.
Yeah, and I always check. I'm one of those people that has to check the back of my car every time I get in it.
Yeah.
And I think it was because of there was an urban legend, an actual urban legend, wasn't there, where like if you're at a petrol station and you stop in and then someone was going to get in your car or something, there was something about that. And ever since
Oh
then,
yeah.
I was like, oh no, I have to check the back of my car all the time. Not for
No, no, no,
ghosts,
no.
actual people.
Yeah, no, this same. Like, and that goes all the way over to Texas in the US. That was definitely present in Florida. And I think well, I don't know. I'd have to look up to see if it was real, but there were definitely rumors of like women being abducted and then
Mhm.
sold into human trafficking or put in human trafficking because like you would stop, you would go in to pay for your gas. They would
Yeah.
break into the back of your car without setting off the alarms and then just be in your car when you got back and then you wouldn't
Ew,
know and then you'd get
that's
taken.
horrible.
Yeah, it's
So
awful.
maybe it isn't an urban legend. Maybe it started off as one and it's not anymore. So then I think now we're at the bit where we flash back to, or not flashback, we just switch to Sam and Dean in the car, and there it's the bit with all the cassettes, which I love that bit.
I love that scene so much. Like that scene gets quoted so much. There's some very popular quotes in there and like I
Oh,
get
right,
it. And can we
so
talk about he looks so sexy when he's annoyed. Like when his brother's like, "This is the best of mullet rock, dude," and he's like, and I was also like, "Fuck you," because those are good bands, okay?
yeah,
Those are good
definitely they're good
bands.
bands too. Yeah, was it like Metallica? Oh, I said Black Sabbath.
Black
Um,
Sabbath, Metallica.
was it
What was the
AC/DC as
other
well? I
one?
think, wasn't it?
He does say AC/DC. I feel like I'm missing one, but anyway, yeah. Like honestly, like super solid bands. And Dean is just like, "How dare you?" You can see it in his face. He's like, "I have not raised you well, okay? I fucked up because I have not raised you well musically." It's so funny. And then he's like, "I'm gonna be so annoyed if I mess up this line because it's one of the biggest quotes." But he's
I've written it
like,
down if you want it.
"Oh,
So,
go ahead."
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
go ahead.
He says, "House rules, Sammy. Driver picks the music. Shotgun shuts his cake hole." Is that
Because
the
I
one?
always want to say, yeah, I can never remember if he says passenger or not, but it's shotgun. So thank you for saving me from that.
Oh, I had a flag here as well. So the music in the car. So he grabs them when he's saying the cassettes. Dean grabs the Metallica one out of his hand when he says Metallica, and then he puts it
Yeah.
in. But it's not Metallica that plays. And I Shazammed it because I was like, I'm pretty sure this isn't Metallica. It sounds like newer than that.
Yeah.
And so I Shazammed it. I don't know if can we say Shazam. I searched it on my phone, and it's called "Give a World" by Loveless. And then I looked at Internet Movie Database. I looked at IMDb as well, and in the trivia it mentions that too, that it's not the right song. But they said it's AC/DC that plays Back in
It
Black.
is definitely not. It is not
No,
AC/DC. Well, I wonder if when it aired it was, and then they changed it.
yeah. Well,
Because again,
it said the Netflix version has the song that I'd found, the Loveless song. But we're watching it on Prime, aren't we?
yeah, we are. And that is not
So maybe Prime
AC/DC.
and Amazon.
That's
No, it wasn't AC/DC. And it definitely wasn't Metallica.
mm-mm.
So yeah, I just had a little flag there because I noticed it the second time. Well, I noticed it the first time, and then the second time I was like, "Wait, this is definitely not Metallica." So this bit is it? I was going to ask you, do they always like tend to be other people? Because Dean's obviously they go up to the bridge, don't they? Where the guy that we don't like crashed. I think we even skipped that bit. So she kills that guy on the bridge when he crashes the car and she
Oh yeah,
kills him.
yeah, yeah. She
We'll
kills
skip
that guy,
that bit.
and we go, yes, he gets what he deserves. Your scum.
And then, so they are the brothers across this bridge, and they see there's loads of like sheriffs or marshals, whatever there, and so
Yeah.
they stop, and then Dean is
So, if you guys missed it, she and I are both Gilmore Girls fans, and because this is the first time she's watching it, she has the Sam to Dean hangover, where it's hard to get the name right because he's Dean, but now he's not; he's Sam. And there is
yeah,
also a Dean in the show, which does not help
so
matters. So,
confusing, and
yeah,
he
we'll
still
be
looks
okay.
he still looks like Dean from Gilmore Girls, because it was like the same time when he left that he just started
Yeah.
this, didn't he? So it's like
Yeah.
straight away. So he looks like he did in Gilmore Girls. So yeah, so that they're pretending to be marshals to get up to them and get information about
Yeah.
that's crashed. So is that like something that they always do? Like he has his ways to get
Oh, yeah.
information from law enforcement.
100%. So, like, you'll notice that the scamming, how they get by to pay for themselves, because, like, hunting doesn't pay money. Like, it's not like a paying
No.
job. And then they also have to have a way to get law enforcement to tell them what's going on so that they can get the details on the monsters and understand what they're actually up against.
Yeah.
So if you look at it from like a realistic world building kind of way, it makes perfect sense. And the whole like the different names that they use will become a thing in the show. It's a lot of fun. You'll get a lot of Easter egg names in there.
Okay.
But like, doesn't he, when he gets arrested, doesn't he say that he's Ted Nugent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that's funny.
So they are big into the rock scene. They're big into old but good music, and so you will get a lot of like names like from all kinds of different bands, and most of their aliases are like band names, and yeah, I love it.
I love how sassy Dean is, because he's talking to the marshals, but he says something about them being crap, and then
Yeah.
Sam like stamps on his foot to shut him up.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's
And
like, why are you doing that?
Brotherly. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, you can't do that. You can't insult law enforcement. And Dean's like, what? They are shit.
Oh, and then my favourite line from the whole show, the whole episode even, was where I was walking past, and then there's some FBI agents walking up to the bridge as well, and he goes, Agent Mulder, Agent Scully.
Agent Scully? Yeah, it's so good. Oh my god, it makes me so happy.
And then apparently, just fun fact to do with, because it links to X-Files, that the same bridge from this episode was used in an X-Files episode. That was also from IMDb.
It did look familiar. It did look familiar. Also, like, we gotta talk about the part when Dean takes a nosedive off of the bridge.
Yes, I have a flag for that bit.
That is so damn funny.
It was funny. It was funny. I think I'd said that whole scene, so we can just talk about that scene now, shall we? I don't think we missed a lot.
No.
Basically talk to those two rock chicks about who they find out about. Constance Welsh is the name of the woman in white. That was about it, I think. And then I put that there was very cinematic on the bridge, and you'd said about it being cinematic earlier. And then the whole bit where before he dives off, it's because the car has come to life. That bit did actually, I was kind of like, oh my god. And I was like, Christine from like the Stephen King book, Christine. And you said that there are some references to Stephen King throughout. Is that right?
100%. There's an entire episode that's very Christine, where they even drop the name, which I think you will enjoy. But it's, for me, also in terms of the thirst trap, like, can we also talk about the scene where like he looks at him and he pulls his car keys out of his pocket? Like, dude, who's driving the car? Dean, in the moment where he's like holding up his keys and looking to You guys, why is he so sexy? Also, when he's getting arrested, why is he so sexy? His head is getting slammed against the trunk of a car. How is this working? I don't understand.
Because he has like a little smile, a little smirk when he's getting arrested as well.
It's the bad boy charm of Dean Winchester is on another level. Like, I dare anyone to name someone who has more bad boy charm than Dean Winchester. You can't do it.
But so the bit where the car is like chasing them, that was actually like quite scary. Well, when it started, and then he dives off this bridge, and I was like, he dove off that bridge, and it was so fun. It was like scary and then instantly funny because he's covered in mud, and then he's like, I think he says about the ghost like, "What a bitch" or something, which was maybe
he says Constance Welsh, what a bitch. Yeah, so funny.
My flag though was, so that bridge is a high bridge, and it had very, very fast running water, like flowing water under it. Would he have dove off it and just been on the bank? Would he have been swept away in that current? Also, he could have broken his neck. One of those two things. He actually dove off the bridge.
Okay, so my input on this is his dad's a Marine, and I have decided that he probably, in as part of their training, had them jump off of stuff like this to make them harder. You know,
head first onto the ground.
That's my excuse. My excuse is his dad's a Marine. Like, having grown up with, like, my best friend growing up, her dad's a Marine, and they, like, basically adopted me when my family went to hell. So I've been very, very exposed to the Marine dad. And I honestly would not be surprised if it's like, drills, kids, go. And they're jumping off of bridges and, like, doing parkour in places. Because, like, if you're going to fight actual monsters and you're a human being, you've got to get really tough. And yeah, that's my excuse for that.
Okay. I'm still not sure at the angle that he fell. He would have survived. Also, my dad was a Marine, and I don't remember him ever doing anything like that with me.
Really? But then again, you didn't... Oh, I guess British... Well...
I don't know. I'm willing to overlook that because it was funny afterwards, because he was all covered in mud. And then Sam's like, you smell like a toilet.
You smell like shit.
So then we go to the motel. So the name, you were saying about aliases and stuff, is that name that was on the credit card Fireman? Is that what it was? Is that like used all the time, or was that just a credit card he had that time?
This is just the guy that he stole from this time.
Oh, okay. Because the dad had the same name, because the motel guy was like, "Are you having a family reunion?"
Yeah.
So they go to the motel, and then I was a bit confused about how they obviously rented a different room, but then they found that the room that the dad was in, right?
Yes.
That wasn't the same room that they were
staying in. No. So knowing them, like, again, the advantage of having the other episodes under me, I know how they operate, but like 100%, one of the brothers would have distracted the guy, probably while, I'm guessing Dean would have distracted him while Sam got a sneaky look at the books, figured out what room their dad was in, and then they break into the room to get the information and also to look for him.
There's something that doesn't make sense then later on when he gets arrested, but I'll save it for then.
Okay.
But so we walk into this motel room, and it's like a what do you call it when it's like a police detective and they have all the like string going to all the different bits and a bit like that, because he'd been investigating everything.
Oh yeah, when you have like the conspiracy board.
Yeah,
where you have like all of the clues and everything is lined up on the wall, and you have like red threads going from one point to another point. Yeah, his conspiracy board.
Yeah, it was a bit like that, kind of walking in and just kind of stuff strewn everywhere. And then they had the salt and you'd brought this up about the salt and what was the thing that I didn't know what it was? Yeah,
cat's eye
I had
shells.
to ask you what it was.
Okay, so I am a practicing witch, and I've been a practicing witch for, I think it's like 23, 24 years maybe. It's been a long time, you guys. It's been a long time. I founded and ran my own coven. Good times were had by all. So I can tell you that salt and cat's eye shells, which he's talking about, are actually used for protection in the way that he is describing it. Like, you would use salt like that to keep a bad spirit out. Cat's eye shells are the same thing. So they're also referred to as St. Lucia's eyes, which is how I know them from like Mediterranean culture or Italian culture. They're the eyes of St. Lucia, and they're used very similarly to how you might use like an evil eye. And then also, when I was looking it up to just see if there was anything else, I think that in Hinduism, they're referred to as the eyes of Shiva as well. So it's a multicultural thing with this particular type of shell. They're really beautiful. I actually have one that was gifted to me. But yeah, they're super strong in terms of protection. So that piece of occult information is actually accurate. I can sign off on that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I didn't know what they were. I knew what the salt was there for. But I wasn't sure when he said about cat's eye shells, but you'd explain that to me. So they find out that the dad has also found out about this woman in white, and he's been investigating her as well. Yeah. Dean says something about, oh, he would have found the corpse and destroyed it. And I was trying to look up about the law of Women in White, because it's like La Llorona, isn't it? Kind of
Yeah.
based on that. And I couldn't find anything about that being how one would kill or stop a woman in
Yeah.
white.
So
But yeah,
La Llorona's mythos and stuff is definitely different from the show's mythos. So the idea behind burning the remains is that the ghost is attached to something physical, and therefore if you get rid of the item or the thing that they're attached to, sometimes it's their own bones, that then you can kind of get rid of the ghost or destroy their power and their hold on this world, which, like, I can't think of something exactly like that. Like, I can definitely think of vampire mythos. So, like, the idea that if someone has died and you dig up the grave and you see vampire signs, that you would destroy the remains does exist in several different cultures. So I think that that's where they're drawing that inspiration from.
yeah, okay, yeah. But it was all. I found it really interesting. I got actually the first time I watched the episode, I got a bit sidetracked looking up women in white law
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
watching the episode, which is again why I had to watch it again.
Rewatch it. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this would be cool. I could do like a whole little deep dive on, do like a mini episode or something on this. But yeah, so that was, I had to rewatch bits again because of that, because I got a bit sidetracked.
Yeah, guys, write in if you would like mini episodes on the folklore and background of things, or if you want mini episodes on the witchcraft of things. You need to write into our email address, and then we can take that on board.
Yeah, that would be really cool. We could do some little mini episodes. Oh, so then I had another good quote in this scene, because it was, I think you mentioned it earlier actually, where Sam's trying to apologize for what he said on the bridge. Oh, we skipped over that bit. We'll talk about that bit in a minute. So he's trying to apologize for what he said, and then Dean's like, no chick flick moments. That bit was funny.
Oh yeah. No, I love that. No chick flick moments, like no emotion, no deep emotion.
And that was in reference. The bit that we skipped over, that was just in reference to, they had a little heart to heart on the bridge, didn't they, before the car came to life. So Sam was saying how he doesn't really understand why his dad is bothering trying to find this thing that killed the mum, because it's not going to bring her back again. And at that point, Dean seemed really, like, genuinely hurt. Like his eyes were saying that he was hurt by what his brother was saying to him. And that just kind of links to what you were saying before about how Dean understood because he knew his mum and Sam didn't know his mum. So he doesn't kind of understand.
Yeah, it's also a recurring theme in the show how much Mary meant to Dean, and how idolized she is. And aside from anything else, like aside from, like, I know some of you guys are like me and you've seen the whole show, and so you know what I mean. But like, aside from all of that, if you think about it, she is attached to the only good parts of his life that he's ever had. She's the only stability. Like, she's so intrinsically linked to that, because obviously after her death, his dad changes and their relationship becomes a lot more difficult. Like, there's more drinking. He introduces the boys to hunting, even though they're kids. Like, his life gets pretty dark. And before that, you could see from the opening scenes that they had this beautiful home and they were really happy and they were a really happy family. So Mary to Dean is stability, security, happiness. Like, she's the perfect mom. Also, I think because when you lose somebody like that, I do think that there's a chance, especially if you're a kid, that you're going to kind of idolize them, maybe not remember anything negative. You're going to remember her as this perfect angel. And so for Dean, she is perfect.
I think that whole scene on the bridge was actually a really key point in the storyline for this episode, because that was when we kind of, as an audience, understood that Sam doesn't really understand, and that's why he could walk away from it and Dean couldn't. But then later on, obviously, when his girlfriend dies, it's like, well, now he's got the incentive and the buy-in to the whole thing, because he's then experienced it himself. So I feel like that's why I wanted to go back, because I feel like that was like a really important scene.
I agree.
So they were in the motel room. We'll go back to that bit. So in the motel room, and then the police arrests Dean, which just that bit.
So hot, you guys. It's like if you can't remember it, if you've seen the show before but you need to go on YouTube and find the clip of him being arrested. It's so like he's just the humor is so dry too, and the cops arrested him and he's like, "Is there anything real about you, son?" Where he's like, because he's talking to him like, "This name is fake, the card is fake, there's all of this," because he's being arrested for identity fraud, and he's like, "My boots, like my boots are real." Oh my god, it's so funny. And then again, the physics of Jensen's face. Okay, can we just talk about this? Just thank you to the powers that be for making that face and putting it on the earth. The way that this man is getting slammed into the hood of a cop car and is like, "I'm going to smolder." He does, and it works, and it shouldn't work. No one should be able to look sexy while having their face slammed into a metal. Like it shouldn't work, but it does. I don't know how. But it does.
We'll have to try and find a clip of that bit to put on our Instagram or something.
I did record it. I did do my own little highlight thing. So okay. I have a bit of that. Yeah.
So this is where I had a flag about the I feel like I'm not trying to be negative about the episode. It's just how my brain works. Like I'm always thinking, hang on a minute, this doesn't make sense because this happened earlier. And why do the police think that because they were saying about how, your room looks like a serial killer's room. Mm-hmm. Why do they think that that's his room? Like the motel, the guy at the desk checked them into a completely different room. So why were they thinking, like they've been there, 10 minutes? And how do they think he'd had time to put all the crap up on the walls in that 10 minutes?
So I have
in a room that wasn't even theirs.
No, I have an answer to that. So it's because they have the same surname. Remember, the guy thinks that they're a family because he says, okay. "Oh, are you having a family convention?" And then when he's being questioned by the police, he says, "Oh, there's definitely an older guy in your ring," because he says all the murders go back before I was born. Remember, how could I possibly be a suspect? And he says there's an older guy as part of your ring. He could have started it, and you're just carrying it on.
Oh, so they think they're like a serial killer club.
They think it's a family business. Like they think it's like the Bean Clan or something, I think.
Okay. So then there's some other stuff I think that happens, but that we get so Sam and Dean then meet the woman in white kind of thing.
Can you rate her costume, please, as a costume designer?
Well, I thought her costume was just a bit... I mean, it's just a white dress, then they've made her boobs hang out of it.
Oh, I'm dead. Thank you for that incredibly professional breakdown. 10 out of 10 on your degree. Gold stars.
I mean, it's very literal, isn't it? It's just a woman in white.
Yes. Fact.
And that she's trying to lure all these men, so obviously she has to have a very low cut dress to do that.
The cleavage. The girls were here to help.
Yeah, there's not really that much in the way of costumes in this at the moment, really, is there? Just her dress, really.
Yeah, I guess wardrobe, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's just them wearing denim jacket, a leather jacket, a plaid shirt.
You gotta have the plaid. The plaid is real. Believe in the plaid.
I mean, they look cool. Don't get me wrong. I like it.
I'm trying to predict when you're gonna consider something a costume. Like you guys, if you have ideas, you should weigh in. Like, make sure that you comment underneath where you think that she will actually consider something a costume.
See, my degree was like historical costume, so it was kind of 18th century. I did something that I did like 20s was thing that I did. Something that was from the 20s.
Yeah.
Like a flapper dress. Everything else was kind of like 16th, 17th, 18th century. So
when we get into the historic period episodes, you're going to be happy.
Yeah, I'll be able to say whether it looks realistic or not for the time period.
Excellent.
I thought there were some really, really scary parts when the woman in white is in the car with Sam. Like, that bit was really scary.
That is fucking good. That is great. Like the part where her hand is going into his chest and like afterwards
Yeah.
you can see like the holes in his shirt where she was like going through him. Ugh. No, thank you.
Yeah. And like her face keeps changing, so it's like a ghost and
Oh
or like a
yeah,
skeleton,
she goes from
like
being
decayed rather than.
yeah, it's flashing back and forth between her super hot face and her disgusting I've been decaying for several years and
Yeah,
this is my jawbone face.
yeah. That bit actually really creeped me out.
Yeah, that was gross. That was scary.
Yeah, it was a genuinely scary bit. And then we had the bit where Dean then starts shooting at her. Like we both were laughing about at the time. It's like, why are you shooting a ghost?
Well,
But it's not.
because
That's not going to
Sam's
work.
even like, Sam's like, why are you trying to do this? She's dead. She's like, the bullets are going through her. She can phase in and out of existence. And Dane's all like, well, it worked, didn't it? And like, I guess you got to give that to him. Like, she does get distracted and then just sort of disappear and fuck off for a minute. So,
Well, yeah,
yeah,
I would argue that what actually like stopped her from doing it was Sam then driving into the house, not the bullets.
oh yeah, no, Sam was the most valuable player in that scenario. Like Dean was like, panic, shoot at face of ghost. And she's not there, bro. She's not there. Where are your bullets going? Like, no. And then I was looking it up. I was trying to defend him. I was like, maybe there's some iron in modern bullets. And I was like, this doesn't sound right. And then I looked it up and no, of course, it's like lead and I think copper or brass in the shell casings. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah,
I can't even defend you. I can't. This is very difficult for me, Dean.
you're doing some research to try and back him up.
I was trying to help him out, but no, there's nothing. That was just ridiculous, bro. It was ridiculous.
I then had when they drive into the house, they then have the children at the top of the stairs. And I was like, creepy children alert. Because, from the first episode,
you said
children.
Yeah, the first
And
thing
they're
that she said
talking.
was like, she can't handle creepy children. And she's like, it's a creepy children. And I was like, immediately, yes. And then immediately there were terrifying dead children.
Who were talking in unison, which makes them even creepier.
Oh, God. Yeah. Like, I remember when I was a kid, one of my favorite things to do was, do you know Freddy Krueger in Nightmare on Elm Street? You know, the creepy little girls are like, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. My friend and I perfected. We would do these really whispery, creepy child voices, and we would perfect doing it in unison. And then if people were annoying us, we would go around and just start like blankly looking at them and singing, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. Like just all the creepy. It was great.
No, I don't approve.
I just think, like, in any social situation that you want to get yourself out of, find a friend and do a creepy child voice and start singing something weird in unison, and they will leave you alone. Okay? Do whatever you want to do. They'll leave you alone.
I think you had a point here in this scene about the bit where they are like dragging her to hell. I think they kind of attack them.
Yeah. Because, okay, obviously, she murdered her own children, you guys. Not cool, okay? Not cool.
Not cool.
And the children are understandably angry about this, and their line in Creepy Shining Twin unison is, "You've come home to us, mommy." And then they proceed to tear her apart, like physically tear her ghost apart. Until she is consumed and dragged to hell. And like it was such scary imagery. I was just like, oh, because I remember that really it was fucked up. And even though, like I said before, even though the graphics on that, like the CGI is not what we would expect it to be today, I'm kind of glad, because it's creepy enough as it is with these janky old effects that like I feel like if it was updated, I don't know if I would ever sleep again. Like the visual image of her being torn apart by her own children is so dark and so scary that honestly I don't think I could handle it if it was updated. No thanks.
No, same. But those were the special effects that we were talking about earlier, where I thought they were actually quite good for the time. Like, at the time, that would have been amazing.
I did not sleep. I distinctly remember that after the first episode, I did not sleep. And I was
No.
thinking, why did I do that? And then I was thinking, Dean Winchester, though. Because I was like, do I go back and do I watch it again? And I was like, Hot Boys. Hot Boys, it's worth it.
I did it was genuinely scary. It was more scary than I thought it was going to be, because I knew it was like a horror show, but I was like, oh, how scary can it be? But it was actually genuinely scary in places,
This is
but
what I
also
mean.
funny, which
It's
I
like
like.
it's elevated horror, I think. It's
Yeah.
elevated beyond like a normal TV series. It is really funny too. And I feel like it masters the banter better than I'm going to feel so bad by saying this. And I think that another fandom might come for me. But I actually prefer Supernatural to Buffy now.
Oh, I like Buffy too. But yeah, I do like Supernatural.
I feel like the balance between horror and comedy and banter is better in Supernatural than it is in Buffy. Buffy is amazing. Don't get me wrong. I am still a Buffy fan. However, I do think that it's a little bit more polished in Supernatural. I have to give them props for that.
Yeah. Well, Supernatural seems to be more like a horror film, like a horror movie, rather than Buffy is kind of a bit more kind of campy horror. It's like
It's spoofy. Although Supernatural will get campy.
Okay.
Just FYI, just for fun.
But see, that just makes it even better because it can obviously do different things and still be good.
Right?
Crossing different types of horror and different genres, because it's funny. It's genuinely funny as well.
Yep, it is. It is. I also, to go back a bit in time, there's that scene where they're playing their dad's voice on the tape recorder, and it sounds so creepy. And he's like, "There's EVP in that," and then he plays it back, and it's just her voice saying, "I can never go home." It's so creepy.
Yeah.
That scene was so good. I love that so much.
That was good. Yeah, I can't believe we missed that, talking about that to start with. Yeah, that was definitely good.
Also, in the mullet rock scene, where he's been giving like a little bit of shit for his musical taste, he turns and he puts there's a way that he drives where he puts his arm up and he's driving. You guys can't see me. I'm just going to tell you, I'm putting my arm up, like my elbow out more, like how he drives. If you've seen the show, then you know, okay? You know. And he's driving away, giving like this like rebellious fuck you look to his brother for doubting his musical taste while rock music is blaring in the background. And like the car's name is Baby, okay? And Baby looks so sexy as she's taking that corner. That entire scene does it for me. That is a thirst trap also, okay? I don't know how I need somebody to do a thirst trap counter. It's probably going to end up being me. Or it might be Laura actually, because editing is her job. So we need a thirst trap counter for sure.
Okay, I'll do that.
I will say Sam
talked about it a lot already.
Yeah, Sam driving into the house, it hits a thirst trap too, though, because he's like, good. "I'm gonna take you out, bitch," and then he's like, and he just drives through the house. That was hardcore.
That was hot.
Yeah, that was hot.
So the last scene was when Dean drops Sam back off at his dorm. I'm guessing he drops him off at college.
Yes.
And then as soon as he gets in and he lays down the bed, in my head I was like, something's gonna happen. They're not gonna just end it happily. Something's gonna happen. And then you get the drips of blood on his face, like at the start with the mum. And then he closes his eyes, doesn't he, when he lays down? And then the blood drips on his face, and he opens his face. He opens his eyes.
Whole different horror. Yeah. He opens his face like a fucking face hugger.
Oh dear. Yeah, he opens his eyes, and then he's just like, oh no, because his eyes, you can see how like genuinely shocked and scared he is. And then obviously his girlfriend is on the ceiling the same way the mum was. Was she in the same position, like that crucifix?
I believe so, yes. Yeah.
And then the fire. Oh, I had a fun fact here as well. Let me find it. This was also from IMDb. So the fire in that scene was real fire.
Ooh.
Not the fire on the ceiling, but the fire in the room. That was real fire.
Nice.
Which I thought was really interesting. So they were actually acting in there and had to, like, you know, get out of the fire. So the end of the last scene, we've kind of come full circle right back to the start, because the same thing has now happened to Sam and his girlfriend. So now he wants to. Does he then just go outside? Oh no, because Dean comes in and rescues him, doesn't he? Or helps him get out.
Yeah, it's a perfect mirror of the beginning of the episode. You even get the exact same scene with the fire trucks. And I love where you see the silhouette of Dean and Dean's back, and then he turns around. Thirst trap. Also, for the thirst trap counter, before I forget, there is also this scene where he breaks himself out of jail with the paperclip. Bad boy, thirst trap.
Oh yeah. So it kind of, like you say, it mirrors the beginning, and it all comes around to the same thing. And then so at the end, the very, very end, Sam's like, let's go or something, doesn't he? He's like, yeah, I'm coming with you now.
Might as well. He's like, let's fucking do this.
Yeah.
I'll kill them all. You see the revenge. It's really, really beautiful and really well done. And I think that he did an amazing job of acting that scene, because like you feel it in your bones. He's just like, I think it's a shotgun or something that he picks up, that he cocks.
Yeah.
But it's really, really, really good. It's the symmetry of the way that the show opens to the way that the show closes. So well done. Really like hits you in the feelings, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it was such a good pilot. Like I'm not surprised it got picked up, because it was really good.
Yeah.
And it kind of sets you up for the episode structure. So I'm guessing from this one that it's going to kind of follow that. They're trying to find their dad, but as they're following the clues for that, they're going to stop off in different places and find another monster they have to defeat on the way to finding. Yeah, so it's got like that overarching storyline, but also little mini ones thrown in. Now, because I'm new to it, I was kind of thinking about predictions, but I don't feel like I really have any yet, because I've only watched one episode. But I was thinking about what I am thinking ahead to, like, the end of the season already, and what might already happen. And I'm thinking they probably will. I'm guessing they will find their dad, but I don't think it's going to be as simple as that. I think maybe like something's happened to the dad, or I don't know if he'll be dead. He might be, but I think something might have happened to him, so it's not going to be like all hunky dory. Yeah, we found a dad and now we're a happy family again.
I mean, there's a lot of seasons, so that's a solid prediction.
Oh, does it run through the whole thing, so they don't find their dad ever until like the very end?
No. It's not like that. It's not like that. But like, if they found him immediately and then they went back to being a happy family, there wouldn't be much of a story, I feel like. So
yeah, that's what you mean.
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, my prediction is that the dad will show up again at some point this season, but I don't know. That's not really that much of a prediction. I think that's all I have at the moment.
That's a pretty decent one. Okay, I have a question for you though. So the shadow figure that we see in baby Sam's room, what do you predict that will be?
Oh, well, like what kind of
is your guess?
Monster? It kind of has demon-y vibes because of the fire and stuff as well.
It does have demon-y vibes.
So yeah, a demon is my guess.
I like that guess. Nobody spoiler it for her. Remember, she's got to be kept precious and pure in the darkness.
I don't know why. What I don't know why, and I can't predict yet, is why they wanted the mum, like why the mum died, why the mum had to die.
And Jess.
Yeah. Well, I assume that well, actually, I don't know. I was going to say I assume the Jess dying was to kind of get maybe their attention again for some reason.
That's a good guess.
Like maybe whatever the demon entity thing is wants the brothers to be on this path. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know why. Like, what did the mum do? Or maybe it was the dad. But like, why did the mum have to die?
Yeah, a solid question. Women everywhere want to know, why do you always kill the moms?
Yeah, we've had, apart from, I suppose there were some men that were dying in this episode. I was going to say, it's all just women that have died. That's not true at all. Ignore that.
No, it's a lot. There's a lot of violence. There's a lot of death. It's equal opportunity death. I just mean in general on like fairy tales. Like I have a friend who does a fairy tale series called Storycraft. I'm just going to take a second to plug that for her. YouTube, release the craft in. If you like fairy tales and stories and wit, you'll love it. Go check it out. But she's constantly pointing out, she'll be like, and you guys, there's a mom and she's a nice mom, and to no one's surprise, on the next page, she is dead. Because it's such a trope that like if you are in a story and you are a mother, you are gonna die. Like apparently there's no other way to develop characters.
Is there any way you wanted to kind of end the episode? So like any of the games that you were talking about?
Okay. Did you think that this week's monster was hot?
Well, I think you should answer that. I mean she was attractive, but yeah. Not really my type.
No. But she is a lady. I, the token bisexual, can confirm that she is very hot. I think I would have been I wouldn't have been in trouble because I would not cheat. I am like Sam. I'll die before I cheat, so that'll never happen. So she wouldn't have been able to really get her hooks in me, I don't think. Also, witchcraft. I would have been like, salt in your face, bitch. See you later. Bye. In terms of like, could she lure me like a siren? Abso-fucking-lutely. Like that woman is gorgeous. I would have been in so much trouble. So much trouble. So I rate this week's villain as hot. And you rate this week's villain as wearing a tattered dress. You're like, 1, not in my wheelhouse. 2, this ensemble is not up to my expectations.
I wouldn't have even picked her up. I would have seen her on the side of the road going, she looks creepy. I am driving past.
You're like, later, loser.
I wouldn't have been lured by her feminine ways.
Yeah, no, I'm a rescuer, so I for sure would have been in trouble. I would have been like, hot lady on the side of the road needs my help. Okay, I'm here. Because I'm your neighborhood bisexual.
I'm an avoids human contact at all costs kind of person, so I would have been like, no. No, thank you.
You will live longer in a horror movie. I feel like being a horror movie, if I get all my witchiness, I might stand a chance. But I have that like rescuer to concerningly drawn in by hot people sort of an issue. So like that would not bode well for me in horror films. You know what I mean? I'm concerned for myself. Let's see. We did hot or not villain, monster of the week. Do you think that the woman in white is a scary monster? Like, where would you rate her on a scale of 1 to 10? Like 1 being nothing, 10 being pretty terrifying.
Yeah, I think she was pretty scary, especially the bit where her face started changing into the kind of skeleton.
That was
yeah, that was really creepy. So I'm trying to think what else might come up and whether that would be higher. I think I'd give her a solid 8 out of 10 for scary creepy factor. Yeah,
I can get behind that. I give her about a 7.5 to an 8. I feel like only I've seen the whole show, and there are some really creepy monsters. I just think that she's fantastic, though. I think she's fantastically creepy. I think the whole story is so fucked up and messed up and weird and scary that it's really good.
Yeah.
Okay. At the end of this episode, are you a Sam girl or a Dean girl?
I'm still both. I can't make up my mind. I thought it was Dean to start with, but then when you pointed out the bit about him, Sam driving through the house, I was like, no, it was both. And when how he was with his girlfriend, he was really cute. So yeah, still both. I might make a decision at some point.
She's gonna have to pick a side at some point, you guys. But for now, she has not chosen a side. We can't make team shirts yet. Okay. Let's see. What else? We can't really. I guess we could kind of rate this motel, but we didn't really see the motel. Like the motel didn't have its own decor. This is just John's like insane conspiracy theory, drunk out of his head, eating hamburgers for days on end, like holed up in this room decoration. So I don't really think that we can rate the motel.
Although I thought that was quite cool though.
It was really cool.
I would have, when I walked in, I would have been like, I need to look at all of these things. I want to know everything that he was investigating. I would have read everything.
Yep, I agree. Okay, thirst trap wise, what was the biggest thirst trap for you in this episode? Like, what was the moment where you're like, holy fuck, this is hot?
Yeah, it was that one that I said before about where Dean's sitting on the front of the car and on the bonnet of the car. Should I put my
hood, y'all? She means the hood.
It's a bonnet. Oh yeah, he's sitting on the front of the car.
The thing is like all of the British listeners are going to side with you and all of the American listeners are going to side with me. But I live in the UK now, so I get corrected. They're like, it's aluminium. And I'm like, it's aluminum, y'all. It's aluminum. So I've had this debate with my husband all the time because my husband is also British. So this is pretty entertaining for me. I'm not going to lie.
I've forgotten what your question was. Oh, the first trap. So yeah, the bit where he's sitting on the front of the car and looks at him and is like, I don't ask you for anything. And the look he gives him. That was my thirst trap moment.
I love that. I think in our show notes, which I'm looking at you, kid, because I feel like this is your wheelhouse. We need to put
I've already started
down
them.
Yeah. And we need to put those shots up. Like the specific pictures. We've got to put those out so we can have rated our individual thirst traps from each episode. For me, I'm thinking so hard because there's so many good moments. I honestly feel like just because it doesn't make any human sense, it's when he's getting like slammed and arrested on that cop car, and yet he chooses to smolder just because it makes no sense. There's so many hot parts in this episode, but that's the one that I'm going to say that's my biggest thirst trap.
What was your quote of the week?
Driver picks the music, shotgun shuts his K-hole.
Mine was the Agent Mulder, Agent Scully.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm just changing my vote. That's it.
It's fine. It's fine.
No.
Taken.
God damn it.
That bit genuinely made me laugh out loud.
I know, I laughed out loud so hard. I forgot that it was there. And then I was just like, oh, this is beautiful. This is the best. I've been rewatching the X-Files lately too, so it's just like even more perfect.
Yeah, I rewatched X-Files last year. So yeah, I think that's why it's funny. But it was because it was just such a passing, like fleeting thing as well. He was just walking past them.
So deadpan. It's so perfect. It's perfect comedic timing. I loved it so much.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I'm thriving.
Okay, so I think that's probably where we're going to wrap it up for today. So yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. If you liked this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe. We would be very grateful. And if you know someone who would enjoy it, please share.
You can find us on Instagram at the Witches of Letters podcast, or you can email us at thewitchesofletters@gmail.com.
Until next time, stay safe out there, have each other's backs, and always keep fighting.